A lot of business owners think that the secret to more sales is ads. So they end up spending more money on advertisements. But most times they find out how difficult it can actually be to acquire new clients. Now imagine this. You spend months building a business brand. You create the product, you run the advertisements, you make the posts, social media content, ads and newsletters, you do those content. And you finally, fortunately, get the client. They buy, and suddenly, you never hear from them again. They just buy once and vanish. No second purchase, no loyalty, no recommendation whatsoever. And you're wondering, what happened? Like, why didn't this person come back again? Especially when you are into product that has to do with recurring sales. But you get silence. Most of the time, business growth does not come from more customers. It comes from keeping the ones you already have. And that's the real secret. So today, we're talking about customer retention strategy because getting attention is impressive. It's very nice when a business gets attention. But you see, keeping trust is where the money lives. And you need to understand how you can build trust with your clients. So let's get right into it. You know what's interesting? Most business owners celebrate the first sales, but only a few celebrate the fifth, and even more to come. Hey lovelies, welcome back to another amazing episode of the Flirpedia podcast, a podcast where we serve fresh insight, real talk, and practical tips to help you grow, glow, and get things done, both in your personal life and in your business brand. I am your host, Florabella, and on today's episode, I'm simply going to be delving into the topic customer retention and how you can keep long-lasting relationship with your customers. Now, for the longest time, I thought growth meant more customers. I thought that it meant more followers, more clients, and more traffic. But then I noticed something, especially during my NOIC, my National Youth Service Corps. I noticed something from the brand I served with, that most business owners who are constantly chasing new customers, sometimes they don't actually make the best sales. Now, others seem to have customers who simply refuse to leave, while you're there struggling to get customers who will come back again and again. And it made me realize growth isn't just about attraction, it's about retention. And how do you get this retention? Let's get right into it. First off, I need you to understand that people will only come back to a place where they feel valued. Let me take that again. People don't stay where they are not valued. So they only come back to a place where they feel valued. So think about your favorite restaurant. Think about your favorite hairdresser, your favorite online store, that thing you love to purchase all the time. Check out what they do that makes you go back there. Chances are, it's not just about the product. It's about the way they make you feel as a client, as a person. And this is actually what customers see. Customers remember experiences far longer than they remember transaction. And a customer who feels appreciated and loved becomes a loyal customer. And a customer who feels ignored, obviously, is the opposite. They become a stranger. So sometimes customers don't leave because your product is bad or because your product was not good enough. Sometimes they leave because they feel invisible, they feel mistreated, or they feel unappreciated. Let me give a personal experience that happened to me recently. So an incident happened to me while I was trying to make my hair, and it led to an altercation with my hairstylist. And after that incident, I knew for a fact that I was never going back to her again. Not because she was not good. No, she was a professional. And her work is neat. She's good at what she does. But the whole situation made me feel bad, and that dawned on me that imagine if I feel this way, even how good she was with what she does, and I still don't want to go back. Now imagine how my clients will feel when I do have altercation with them. And that made me realize that truly the way you treat your customers matters. Second, many business owners fall in love with acquisition and neglect retention. The biggest thing you can ever do as a business owner is to focus more on getting new customers all the time, rather than preserving the ones you have. A lot of people think that they always think on how can I get more customers, how can I get more followers, how can I go viral, how can I get more likes. But that's not actually the main point. Nobody's asking the $1 million question. The $1 million question here is, how do I serve these people enough for them to trust me? Imagine pouring into a bucket with holes. That is what happens when you keep looking for customers without an acquisition and retention strategy. You constantly replace what you're losing. And that's, at the end of the day, it's going to leave you exhausted. It's going to leave your brand, feeling like you're not doing anything. And at the end of the day, when you realize everything, it becomes too late. Let me shock you with a simple truth that most people do not realize. Most businesses who make sales in today's digital world don't even have a large following. Do you know? I know, I'm shocked too, because I thought the same thing too when I, started digital marketing and all. I thought the more followers you have, the more sales you get. But that's a lie. A lot of people that have lots of followers barely even have sales. But you see someone who have 10 followers, 20, 30, they're making more sales. They are getting more connection, more businesses. And you're wondering, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're just not doing what you're supposed to do. Now, third of all, people buy from brand they trust, because brand is a currency for retention. You need to start learning how to keep retention, not just about the flashy brand or the flashy title or the slogan or the logo. No, it is just trust. When customers know that you can deliver consistently, they trust you completely. Every interaction you have with your clients either deposits into the customer trust account or withdraws from it. So businesses that, focus on trust get the long-term growth, and those businesses are not always the loudest. To be honest, they are often the most reliable. Now, the fourth thing is, you should always understand that customer retention starts immediately after sales. Don't wait until everything is done before you now start reaching out to them. Oh, I said I should reach out to you. Do you want to buy something today? No. When a customer makes a purchase and that purchase was successful, the journey of retention begins immediately. You see that little follow-up message, you see that thank you note, you see that check-in that you do, and the after-sales support that you offer even without being asked. These small actions create big difference, because customers who don't feel remembered after they've paid will definitely turn to strangers. Customers don't remember things that happen before they make purchase. They remember things that happen right after the purchase. So before I started digital marketing, here's the thing I think about Nigerian hosting platforms. I used to think that most Nigerian hosting platforms are expensive and they are slow. They don't offer good services, until I came across a platform called Hugo Host by a friend who referred it to me. They are currently known as Go54, and I've been using it for over 3 years now. And constantly, I have always gone back to purchase even more plans. And I'm not even trying to make an advertisement here or something, but their customer service is top notch, and you will not even struggle with the normal paying in dollar and all those hassle and bustle you have with using foreign hosting platform. Now, this is not saying that foreign hosting platforms are not good, but I'm trying to say that if you're a beginner, this is like the best thing you can do for yourself, starting with this little Nigerian brands and going up from there. So every successful purchase you make using the link in my description is going to give me a little commission. But yes, kindly sign up with the link in the description. I'm going to be leaving it in the description below. And like I always say, don't just follow my words for it. Do your own research. I love it, but that does not guarantee that you will love it. So make sure you check it out first. Now, last but not the least, loyal customers are your best marketers. One of the most powerful advertisements you can have is not ads. It's not Facebook ads. It's not Instagram ads, even though they can be very profiting too. But a satisfied customer, people who are genuinely in love with your product and your service, will talk about you. So yes, one of your best marketing strategy is referral. The recommendation, the referral they do, the advocacy, that they advocate for your brand without you even asking. And the beautiful thing, people trust people more than they trust influencers, more than they trust that your brand ambassador. So when they see someone who have used something, they tend to like, oh, I think this person is saying the truth. Now let me use it. So let's not talk about all this without actually giving solutions. So let's talk about how you can actually create retention for your customers, because awareness without solution will bring about no change. So first off, what do? Deliver on what you promise. It sounds simple, but you will be shocked how many businesses fail on this simple task. A lot of businesses will promise heaven and earth. Oh, I would do this, I would do that. Make sure that you do not overpromise. Don't oversell. Don't create expectations you cannot meet up to. Create trust when you typically fulfill your promises. And this is a secret I've learned during my time as a communication officer. And I have learned it is better to under promise and over deliver than to under deliver when you have over promised. I hope that sinks in. And then another thing you need to do is show up consistently. Stay connected with your clients. A client feels more connected to your brand when you stay proactive, when you send updates, when you share useful information, when you check in on them. A good example is the Uber Suggest by Neil Patel I used some time ago during my work as a digital marketing officer. I signed up for their newsletter and it's been over 5 years now. And trust me, I still get a mail from them. In as much as I do not use them right now, I still know that these people exist. And this has given me the impression that when I do have money enough to sign up, I will definitely go back to them. That's one brand I know has been doing this over the years. Now, another solution, I think the third solution you can do is to create an experience that people will never forget. People might forget products, but they rarely forget how you make them feel. Making them buy things easily from you, removing every bottleneck and hassle that might, stop them from making purchase, makes things easy. You see that small support you add makes interaction pleasant. Little details create lasting memories. So make sure that you do it and make it easy for your clients. 4, ask for feedback. I don't know who needs to hear this, but make it loud for people at the back. Your customers are currently using your product and they know your product better than you, and they have a whole lot to say about your business. Listen to them. Ask questions, make welcome criticism, learn from complaints, and you will be able to grow from there. A good example of what I have done in my brand, let's use this podcast for a little example. I asked some of my listeners what they feel about my podcast, and a lot of them complained on how it was too long, and I decided to make changes to it by making my podcast episodes shorter. You see, that is asking feedback. Whether it's your personal brand, your business brand, or just your content, ask for feedback. Now, the next thing you need to do is to create a reward scheme. Whether it's exclusive service, whether it's priority service, whether it's personalized message, people stay where they feel valued. I have mentioned this countless of times, and I cannot overemphasize this enough. When they feel genuinely appreciated, they come back for more. Let that sink in. A customer first purchase is a transaction. You see, the second time is trust. But what people do not understand is the third purchase. Oh, the third one, that is loyalty. Loyalty is where the sustainable growth begins. And when your goal isn't about chasing new customers, you build something beautiful. You build a valuable, brand where people will not just want to come back, but they will come back over and over and over and over again. And along the line, they will help you be your biggest marketer. Along the run, you are going to see that they will use word of mouth to push your business brand. Most of all these big brands you see, like Dolce & Gabbana, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and the rest, most times people just talk about them. You see people on social media advertising for these brands for free. That's what it means to have a loyal customer base. And I hope you're going to follow this and learn from it. Pick one or two that you need. A good entrepreneur, business owner, and influencer understands that getting people who genuinely loves your brand is one of the best things you can have. So share this with anyone who you think would need this for their brand and who this will work for. Make sure you keep your promises, and remember, the easiest customer to sell to is the one who already believes in you. So make sure you let that sink in well and you take note. Listening alone will not solve it, but actually taking actionable step toward getting this done, that is the greatest asset. So don't just listen to the Floripedia podcast and just say, oh, okay. Take notes and start implementing it. Even if it's one thing at a time, even if it's once in a week, you implement just one strategy, you will see how big or how, your business will turn around. So thank you for listening to today's episode of this podcast. I am really glad you stayed till this end, and I can't wait to see you on our next episode again. Until we see again. Bye.